Good afternoon, Carmen.
Hello, Amy. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you. It was really important for me to connect with you and to show you to the rest of the clinical community because I think you're doing really exciting things, really important things. And I'm so proud that you're a member of our Talkspace team. And I know that everyone else is going to feel the same way too. So I'll just start off by saying that what caught my attention initially was you are part of our Talkspace workshop team, and you posted a photo because of you and Marianne Williamson as you were doing a speaking engagement with her. And I was like, what is going on? Oh my goodness. Because her work, on her work on spirituality, on love, is something that I am passionate about, and to see you also doing that made me look you up, and the work that you're doing is incredible. The book that you have out, the speaking that you're doing. So please tell me about your work.
Well, thank you, Amy. It was really a pleasure and an honor working with Marianne Williamson. As a matter of fact, it was one of my dreams come true. She was, I know, it was surreal. And so my work has taken me on an incredible journey. I started out as an actress in New York, something that you didn't know about.
Oh, cool.
This is when I was much younger, and I would audition, and people would say, "Oh, you're great," and all you need to do is write your own material, rent a stage, market yourself, write some original material for yourself, and then perform it, and then invite agents to come. Well, I was in my 20s, so that was just like, you might as well have said, walk on the moon.
Yeah.
So cut to following in my mom's footsteps and being a clinical social worker. Yeah. So wanting to help people, I didn't know it at the time, but I wanted to heal my family is what I really wanted to do. And a lot of people that come into the helping profession, sometimes they come from dysfunctional families, and we want to heal those wounds that we saw when we were younger. And we think, oh, well, if I have the knowledge and I can help other people, then I can maybe fix those wounds. So that was my journey. I started working with traumatized kids and their families, working for Child Protective Services in Clark County in Las Vegas. I did that for 22 years. And what I really discovered was that as my work continued, and I'm in the trenches with trauma, with abuse and neglect, with reuniting parents with their children after foster care, working with the judges, what I really discovered was, what was I really doing? I was learning how to love fully. Mm. Now people think, oh no, you learned about, practices and techniques and all these different kinds of clinical work that you did. And I said, no, really what all of that was teaching me was how to love fully and unconditionally. Because people will tell me, oh, well, that was such hard trauma work that you were doing. And I said, well, most of the trauma work was dealing with administration. When you're dealing with budgets and you're dealing with people that are not in the trenches, but they have such a huge impact on what you do. And so I was butting up against people that did not think like me, because what you learn in social work school and when you're going to clinical work, that you're training your brain to think in a certain way, yet the people that you're most dealing with, their brains are being trained towards finance or accounting or lawyer work or policy making. And so most of my growth, if you will, came from learning how to love people, understand people when they come from totally different backgrounds and totally different mindsets.
That planted seed, I imagine, for this later work. Yes?
Yes, and that helped me with the spiritual piece. So sometimes you have to go around the block and down the street in order to get to where you are right now. And so I went into ministerial work in the 90s. I went to the University of Metaphysics. I wanted to get a clearer picture of all the different religions, what they have in common, and more specifically, how do they heal? How do they heal us from suffering, from anxiety, from all of the things that we suffer from, and childhood trauma? And so all of that work on me, not necessarily learning techniques, but I was going within myself and clearing out all the things that I had held on to because I came from a dysfunctional family. And that's why I went into clinical work. I didn't know it at the time. This was on a subconscious level. I went into the work to find out how crazy my family was and how to fix them. And what I found out was through my spiritual work and through working for the county and working with traumatized kids and working with administration that didn't understand me or any of those kids, I learned how to clear all that out. And when I did, I replaced it with love and compassion. And so when I did that, things started changing.
When you worked on healing yourself.
I worked on healing myself.
Clarity came, compassion came.
Yes.
Conduit for putting that out into the world.
Yes, and nobody taught me that how that worked. And I call it spooky stuff or magic. When we start to heal ourselves and we become full of light, meaning full of compassion, full of love, our vibration changes. We walk into a room, we go to a session, we go to a meeting, and that meeting changes because our vibration changes, our expectations have changed, the way we see things have changed, the way I see my boss changes. To the more positive. And so that meeting becomes more positive. And I didn't realize, I thought in order to change a situation, that person needed to change. I thought like everybody else. And so this was life-changing, especially when you have an experience where you're actually doing the work within and you can see the results outside of yourself. That's life-changing. And so that's one of the messages that I want to always present, is that going within is the answer. It sounds cliche. It sounds like you can't put your finger on it. But it is actually the way to changing the world.